And good morning, sports fans, and welcome to a Saturday morning edition of the Friday Night Locker Room and our continuing coverage of Brevard County sports. Orville Susong here along with Steve Wilson. We're at Little League Baseball time, and we're on Merritt Island, Florida at Jim Hemsley Park for the Section 3 9 and 10-year-old Little League Baseball Tournament. Today's broadcast is brought to you by Planet Fitness of Rockledge, and as always, sponsored by Mike Erdman Nissan Cadillac, located on the 520 Causeway on Merritt Island. Steve Wilson beside me heading out to talk to the coaches, but they're getting ready to go, so we're going to crank her right up here and get set for Little League Baseball. This is a three-team concept. Navy Ortega out of Jacksonville, Lakeside. They'll be taking on Palm Coast. Then Merritt Island, who is the third team in this tournament, will play the loser of the first game and then the winner of the second game. Games will start at 10, 1, and 4. Barring no weather problems. So we will give you the lineups for both teams in just a second. I want to remind you, you can pick up our broadcast on spacecoastdaily.com or fnlr.net. I want to thank Tom Palermo for running Sports Center for us on Merritt Island here to make sure we are up and running. This game will be audio only, and the second game, Stephen, will run audio and visual, so we'll be able to see the 1 o'clock and the 4 o'clock game on YouTube, and that again will be on spacecoastdaily.com. The umpires for today's game are out on the field. They're getting ready to have the plate meeting. The coaches for both teams, for Navy Ortega, the coaches, Curry Pagic, Mikhail Hellman, and the manager is Steve Moore. For Palm Coast, the manager, Jason Roberts, Brian Pascarillo, and Brian Clamer. That's the two coaches for Palm Coast. And while we have an opportunity, we want to say hello and happy birthday to Jason Roberts. 47 years old. He's down here with his team to try and put Palm Coast in the next leg of this tournament, which would be the state championship. This is a Section 3. All three of these teams won locally in their area. District 19 coming from coming from Palm Coast. District 11 coming from the Jacksonville area, and that is Navy Ortega Lakeshore. And Merritt Island representing District 22, and they are right here from Merritt Island. We'll give you the lineups for Navy Ortega. They will be the home team. We'll give you their lineups first. Playing center field, wearing number 3, Robert Adams. He'll hit number 1 in the lineup. Third baseman, number 00, Gavin Miller. He'll be the third baseman. On the mound this morning for Navy Ortega will be the pitcher, number 5, William Moore. Second base, number 34, Brooks Beach. Left field, number 14, Jeb Allen. Shortstop, number 4, Mac Hellman. Catcher, number 22, Noah McDonald. Right fielder, number 2, Russell Beard. And at first base, number 6, Derek Carson. Steve Wilson down on the field now by the first base dugout. Let's send it down to Steve. Steve?
Thank you, Orville. I'm down on the field, the hot field, and it's not even 10 o'clock in the morning, but a beautiful day for baseball in Brevard County. Not a cloud in the sky at this point. Weather will not be an issue. It's going to all come down to who does what between the lines, which is the way you like to see it at this level. Section tournament winner advances. The loser of this three-team tournament, unfortunately, their season will come to an end, but we're going to grab a quick word with Jason Roberts, the manager of the Palm Coast 9 and 10-year-old All-Stars, and also Steve Moore of the Navy Ortega Lakeshore 9 and 10-year-old All-Stars. They're having their meeting at home plate as we speak. I'm on the first base side, the visiting side, where Coach Roberts will be heading back in just a minute. But once again, an absolutely gorgeous day in Brevard County. Audio only for Game 1. Live streaming video for Game 2 and 3 can be heard and seen on spacecoastdaily.com. Going to have a lot of fun today.
So we'll be able to see your smiling face, Steve, on Game 2 and Game 3. Like I said earlier, Game 1 here is supposed to start at 10 o'clock. Game 2 should be starting somewhere around 1, and Game 3 also should start somewhere in the vicinity of 4 o'clock. So Merritt Island, the team that sets out the first game. Steve, do they have an advantage, you think, by being able to set back? The coaches will sit here in the bleachers and watch these two teams, which they've never seen play before, have an opportunity to play.
Yeah, look, before I answer that question, let me see if I can grab one quick word with Jason Roberts, the head man for Palm Coast. Coach, first, welcome to Brevard County.
Thank you for having us. We're glad to be here.
What do the kids have to do today to come out on top?
you got to do what we've been doing. We got to throw strikes, we got to catch the ball, and we got to hit the ball. It looks like they got a really good team over there, so we'll get our hands full.
All right, Coach, good luck today.
Thank you, sir.
That is Jason Roberts, head coach of the Palm Coast All-Stars. Orville, I'm going to walk to the third base side, grab a quick word with Steve Moore.
And while you do that, Steve, I lost my magic marker already.
Oh, no.
The umpires for today's game: at first base, Freddie Villanueva; at third base, Ron Constantino; and calling balls and strikes behind the dish will be Scott Johnson. So Steve Wilson looking for the head coach of Navy Ortega Lakeshore, and that is Steve Moore. And like I said earlier, his coaches, Mikkel Hellman and Curry Pagic. So Steve Wilson waiting to talk to him. Umpires are at home plate. They have finished their
all right, Orville, excuse me.
Go ahead,
I am going to jump in with Steve Moore, head coach of the NOL squad out of Jacksonville. Coach, first, welcome to Brevard County.
Great to be here. Thank you.
What does your team have to do to come out on top today?
I think if the pitchers throw strikes and we play aggressively, we'll like the result.
How are you pitching? So often tournaments like this come down to pitching.
It varies, but we've got a deep rotation, so there's always someone that picks up another.
All right, Coach, good luck today.
Thank you.
That is Steve Moore, head coach of the Navy Ortega Lakeshore squad out of Jacksonville.
Steve, Navy Ortega certainly not a we've watched them and called games for them over the years throughout the state of Florida as we have followed Brevard County teams. It seems like we've always ran into Naval Ortega somewhere.
Oh, it almost seems like a home game for us. we know them. We saw Coach Moore for the first time. It had to have been 6 or 7 years ago at least.
Yeah,
at a tournament in Rockledge.
Yeah, he's got 4 sons. I believe this is his last one to come through, and he's coached all 4 of them. We've seen him in Jacksonville. We've seen him over in Port St. Lucie. We've seen, Palm Coast. We've seen him all over in Rockledge, Winter Park when they were in the state tournament over there. So we've been around him a long time. And Steve Moore has been the head coach in a lot of these all-star teams at different divisions depending on where his son ended up. But a nice little crowd here at Jim Hensley Park on Merritt Island. And we're going to go ahead and give you the line. Let me give you the substitutes for Navy Ortega. I left them out. Wearing number 8, Durham Branch. Number 9, Tyler Perkins. Number 10, Catherine Brewer. And number 15, John Pagic. So looks like we have a young lady playing in this division, 9 and 10-year-old All-Stars. Her name is Catherine Brewer. She's a substitute for Navy Ortega Lakeside. For Palm Coast and the head coach, Jason Roberts, we'll give you their lineup. In left field, number 8, Brandon Striplin doing the pitching. Number 1, Cody Clymer. At shortstop, number 4, Jace Pascarillo. At first base, number 12, Dalton Roberts. Doing the catching, number 99, Braden Stewart. Playing right field, number 3, Connor May. At second base, number 9, Joel Gargon. At third base, number 24, Reese Monroe. And doing the catching, number 2, Thomas Seeley. The substitutes for Palm Coast will be number 34, Isaac Trewick. Number 11, Gucano Scarroll, and number 5, Mason Kepler. So that is both starting lineups. The Merritt Island PA announcer doing what he does best, introducing first Navy Ortega.
And we'd like to thank our title sponsor for today's game, of course, Mike Urban Nissan Cadillac. Out of Merritt Island, the dealership located on the 520 Causeway is an authorized sales and service outlet for new Nissan and Cadillac products, and they carry a line of used cars and trucks. The website, MikeUrbanMotors.com. The telephone, area code 321-453-2050. We'd also like to thank Beef O'Brady's, State Road 524 in Cocoa. Sean O'Reilly, the whole gang at Beefs have always been big supporters of local sports, so the tie-in with the Friday night locker room is a natural. The menu includes chicken, steak, and fish taco baskets, and, of course, wings. Thanks to Sean O'Reilly and Beef O'Brady's, State Road 524 in Cocoa.
We'd also like to thank DeCandio and Associates, Allstate Insurance, Jennifer DeCandio Agency Principal, 2 locations to serve you, one in Port St. John at 950 Fay Boulevard. You can give them a call there at 631-3777. And their second location is in Mims, Florida at 3239 North Highway US number 1. You can give them a call there at 267-8711 for auto, home, life, investments, disability, which Steve's looking for, boats, motorcycles, four-wheelers, or renter's insurance. You can get it all from Jennifer DeCandio at DeCandio and Associates. That's Allstate Insurance.
You know, you asked me earlier before I talked to Coach Moore if I thought it was an advantage or disadvantage for Merritt Island to sit and watch the first game and then play the second and third. And, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's an advantage to get a feel for your opponent. That would be the only thing. As far as from a physical standpoint, it's the same. Actually, maybe even a little more challenging because more often than not, it's hotter in the afternoon. So Merritt Island will be playing at 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock. But I think it's an advantage because you can scout your opponent and you have a better feel for who you play. Navy, Ortega, Lakeshore, NOL, and Palm Coast don't have a clue. You know, they're going to go out here blind in the first game, but at least Merritt Island's going to have some idea of their opponent.
Yeah, they'll be able to sit back and take a look and watch both teams play at one time, and then Merritt Island will play the 1 and the 4 o'clock game. But what it does do is both these teams have to throw pitchers. So it gives Merritt Island maybe a little bit of advantage in the first game, but in the second game, Merritt Island's going to be in the same situation. So really it doesn't give you an advantage other than a lot of kids, especially at 9 and 10 years old, don't like to play baseball at 8 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock in the morning. But from Jacksonville, they had to get up really early in order to be here by 9. So we're going to take a break real quick for the national anthem. We'll leave it right here, and you can hear it live, and then we'll be back and get ready to go. Someone will yell, "Play ball." And that's our national anthem. I hope we're able to pick it up. The flag flying beautifully here over center field right above the scoreboard here in Jim Hensley Park. We are on field 2. And they're saying the Little League Pledge right now, which they always do after each national anthem. And the PA announcer yells, "Play ball, Steve," so it looks like we're ready to go.
I say we are moments away from the first pitch between NOL and Palm Coast. Should be exciting. The loser of today's game isn't necessarily eliminated from this tournament. Theoretically, all 3 teams could end up 1-1 after 3 games, and then you go to a tiebreaker. So don't get too high, don't get too low after game 1 is over.
Steve, another sponsor we want to talk about real quick before we get started. Jimmy Muscola, owner of Jimmy's Restaurant, used to be down in Rockledge, and we used to advertise during football season, coming soon to US 1 up on North Cocoa. Now we can say Jimmy's been open for a couple of months. He's located at the old Frontenac Flea Market right in front of there. There used to be a seafood restaurant there, and but now he's there, and I understand he's doing really, really well as a breakfast and lunch place in Port St. John. He's located right on US 1, just at the Frontenac Flea Market. That's Jimmy's Restaurant. I want to thank Jimmy Muscola for being a sponsor of the Friday Night Locker Room for a long time.
Now, I understand they're doing terrific business in Port St. John. Not surprised. Jimmy's always had a good following when he was across the street from Turtle Creek Golf Club, and he just carried it about, 25 miles north to Port St. John, and and they're following him. He does great business.
So, again, we want to tell you who the umpires for today's game. At first base, Freddie Villanueva. At third base, Ron Constantino. And on the plate, Scott Johnson. He'll be calling balls and strikes behind the dish. So, Navy Ortega will be in the field first, and we will give you their defensive lineup first. Playing first base, Derek Carson. At second base, Brooks Beach. At shortstop, Mac Hellman. At third base, Gavin Miller. We head out to the outfield. In left field, Jeb Allen. In center field, Robert Adams. And in right field, Russell Beard. The pitcher, William Moore, will start out for Navy Ortega. And his battery mate doing the catching, Noah McDonald. Leading off for Palm Coast here in the top of the first inning will be the left fielder, Brennan Striplin. He'll step in. He'll be the first batter to face NOL's pitcher, William Moore. First pitch swung on and missed. Nice little, going to start the game off with a curveball, Steve.
Start him guessing early.
First pitch is swung on and missed. Striplin misses it, and that'll be strike number one. So we're all started here. That pitch is upstairs, and that will be a ball. Count 1-1. All started here on the Section 3 Little League Tournament, All-Stars, next step, state tournament. That pitch upstairs also, and that will take your count on Striplin. 2 balls and 1 strike. Striplin playing left field for Palm Coast. The next hitter, Cody Clymer, will be the pitcher, and Jace Pascarillo, the shortstop. There's a pitch, and it will be a called strike by plate umpire Scott Johnson, and that will run your count even at 2-2.
It's going to be a hot one today, I understand. There'll be water breaks if requested by the players and coaches, even though you have water in the dugouts. You're looking at a heat index of over 100 degrees throughout the day.
Third pitch swung on, fouled off. They're going to call it strike 3. And the first batter to face pitcher William Moore will go down swinging. That will be Brendan Striplin. And there will be 1 out here in the top of the first inning for Palm Coast. Now batting the pitcher, number 1, Cody Clymer. He'll step in to face William Moore. It's getting a little warm, Steve. We needed to buy a tent that walls with air conditioner.
I know it. I've seen those. Those are nice.
The pitch there, that's a little upstairs, and that will be ball number 1. First batter, Brennan Striplin, went down swinging. That will be the first out in the inning here in Palm Coast. 3 games today, and we'll bring you all of them, and we'll bring them all to you live. That pitch also up, and that will be ball number 2. Steve, the second 2 games, hopefully, you'll be able to watch them as well as hear them.
Yeah, we need to get a few things to cooperate for us. I'm confident they will, so stay tuned to SpaceCoastDaily.com. You'll be able to not only listen to game 2 and 3 here at Merritt Island, but see them as well.
William Moore now a little behind. Here's the next pitch to Clymer. That's right down the middle of the plate, and that will take the count to 3 balls and 1 strike. Cody Clymer, the pitcher for Navy Ortega, will step back in with a count of 3 balls and 1 strike. 1 out here in the top of the first inning, just getting started early. Here's the next pitch. Base hit into right field. Nice clean line drive. Right fielder handles it nicely, gets it back in. So the first base hit of the ball game will belong to Palm Coast, and that will be Cody Clymer, the pitcher.
Nice job by Russell Beard in right field to get the ball into his second baseman, Brooks Beach, to hold the batter to a single.
Shortstop now stepping in with 1 out and a runner at first base will be number 4, Jace Pascarillo. His dad, one of the coaches on the Palm Coast team. Pitcher, William Moore, ready to go. Here's the first pitch, up and away, and that will be ball number 1. Steve, if you're a coach, seems to me like you have to win game 1. So if this is your, you're looking at, I'm going to have to throw my ace and win game 1 so I can have a break and play game 3.
Yeah, if there's such thing as a must-win without it being a must-win, then it is game 1, because as we mentioned at the outset, you can lose game 1 and still win this 3-team tournament, but it certainly gives you a leg up if you win the first game.
2 balls, no strikes. That pitch catches the outside corner, and that will be ball number 1. So the countdown, 2 balls and 1 strike on the hitter, Jace Pascarillo. Joe LeBlanc showing up. He's the District 22 administrator. He'll be the one running the tournament for us here today. The count now will be 3 balls and 1 strike, 1 out here in the top of the first inning. Cody Clymer on first base with a with a base hit into right field.
I knew it was Joe because he had his Hawaiian shirt on. You can always tell Joe. Pick him out of a crowd.
Swing and a miss, and that will take the count full to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Steve, if you're not going to drink that, give it back to me. I'll put it in the cooler.
Hey, I've already taken 3 sips.
Well, put it back if you want to keep it cold. Or you can drink it hot. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. We're in the top of the first inning. You're listening to a Saturday edition of the Friday Night Locker Room. Swung on and missed, strike 3. And that will be the second strikeout of the inning for Navy Ortega pitcher William Moore. So now we're looking at 2 outs in the top of the first inning. Cody Clymer with a base hit in the right field. And he's still stranded at first base. 2 outs out, both coming by strikeouts. That will bring up the number 4 hitter, first baseman number 12, Dalton Roberts. So Roberts steps in to face William Moore. Here's the first pitch to him, catches the outside corner. That will be called strike number 1. Want to thank Beef O'Brady's on State Road 524 in Cocoa. Sean O'Reilly and the whole gang of Beefs have always been big supporters of local sports, and the tie-in with the Friday Night Locker Room is a natural. Second pitch way upstairs. Runner goes about halfway. They're going to throw it and catch him, and he's going to slide into second base easily, and that's a stolen base there. He drew the throw from the catcher back behind him to first base and then went down to second. And the pitch was a ball, so that will take the count to 1 ball and 1 strike.
Cody Clymer showed his speed. On that particular play, like you mentioned, he went about a third of the way, stopped to draw a throw, and just the speed alone advanced him to second base.
And that pitch is low and outside, and that will take the count to 2 balls and 1 strike. Dalton Roberts, the first baseman, hitting right now for Palm Coast. No score early. Here's the next pitch, swung on and missed, and that will take the count to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nice little curveball by Moore there, and he'll run the count to 2-2, 2 outs. Here in the top of the first, a runner at second base in scoring position for Palm Coast. And here's the next pitch, swung on and missed, and that will be strike 3 to throw in the inning. The pitcher for Navy Ortega, William Moore, ends up striking out the side. He got 3 strikeouts and gave up a base hit. So for Palm Coast in the top of the first inning, no runs on 1 hit, no errors, 1 runner left on base. Your score after half an inning, Palm Coast 0 and Navy Ortega coming to the plate. We want to thank Advanced Tax Center for individual, corporate, partnership, estate, and trust tax returns. Advanced Tax Center also offers bookkeeping and payroll services for all businesses. The phone number, 636-8561. You can pick them up on their website at advancedtaxcenter.com. So in the first inning, pitcher for Navy Ortega, William Moore, struck out the side. Striplin, Pascarillo, and Roberts go down swinging, and sandwiched in between that was a base hit by Cody Clymer. Went to second base on a stolen base, so they ended up with a runner at second base and 3 strikeouts. So 3 strikeouts to handle. 3 walks, no runs, no hits. 1 hit, 1 runner left on base. Score after a half an inning. Palm Coast 0, Navy Ortega coming to bat. We'll set the defense for you now for Navy Ortega. At first base, Dalton Roberts. At second base, Joel Gargon. At shortstop, Jace Pascarillo. At third base, Reese Monroe. In left field, Brennan Striplin. In center field, I don't have a center fielder. Why not? I have 2 catchers. Let's see who's the catcher. Number 99 is the catcher. So Thomas Seeley must be in right field.
If he turns around, I'll let you know.
Left field. And no, that would be center. In center field and in right field, I have one of those, Connor May. The pitcher, Cody Clymer, and the catcher, Brandon Stewart. So, Stephen, Navy Ortega coming to the bat, and we'll give it to you.
For NOL in the bottom of the first inning, it'll be Robert Adams, Gavin Miller, and William Moore leading off for Steve Moore's NOL All-Stars from Jacksonville. Once again, the winner of this Game 1 will have the luxury of sitting back, resting, relaxing, eating lunch, watching Game 2, and then playing in Game 3 at 4 p.m. The loser will get a chance to catch their breath, but then is right back to the diamond for Game 2 at 1 p.m. Cody Clymer with his final warm-up tosses for the Palm Coast All-Stars, the right-hander. Looks like he's ready, as does Robert Adams, center fielder for the NOL All-Stars. Once again, Adams about ready to step into the batter's box. Gavin Miller on deck, William Moore in the hole. Adams will be hitting from the left side, facing the right-handed throwing Cody Clymer. First pitch by Clymer. Nice pitch on the corner. No balls and 1 strike on Robert Adams. Adams steps out of the box, takes a quick glance towards the third base box. Now gets back into the left side. He's ready, as is Clymer. Hit into foul territory, out of play over the first base dugout. Good chase, good effort by Dalton Roberts, the first baseman for Palm Coast. He ran as far as he could, ran out of real estate. So Robert Adams will now be facing an 0-2 pitch from Cody Clymer. Adams is going to have to protect and hit it, swing it, anything close. That one outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Infield playing at about normal depth, outfield maybe in a couple of steps. Not expecting a lot of power at the top of the lineup for the NOL All-Stars out of Jacksonville. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Line drive up the middle. Not nice snag by the shortstop. Got him at first. A terrific play. I saw it going through to the left of the shortstop. It was a hard hit ball up the middle past the pitcher, the shortstop for the Palm Coast All-Stars. You got that one, Orville.
Jace Pascarella.
Pascarella almost diving to his left and then having to make a strong throw because Adams showed good speed getting down the first base line. It was a bang-bang play. Good call by the umpire. 1 out in the bottom of the first.
Nice call by Freddie Villanueva. And Freddie Villanueva, a rocklet jump, Steve, but very seasoned. He just came back from Cooperstown. So he was up at Cooperstown umpiring games up there. And when you're doing that, you know you're a pretty good umpire.
No question about it. Gavin Miller looks at 1 high and tight, 1 ball and no strikes. Swing and a miss. Quickly evens it up at 1-1.
But Steve, you see what Jace Pascarella, the shortstop, did. Like you said, actually got the ball right before going behind the bag at second base, spun and made the throw. That sets a good confidence level for your pitcher to think, my defense is behind me.
Oh, absolutely. Foul popped up, right fielder giving chase. It's in fair territory over the head of the right fielder, trying to advance to second, safely at second. Now ball gets past the second baseman. He's going to third. He's going to turn the corner, and NOL is going to score the first run of this baseball game.
Steve, you're going to have double errors there. The right fielder misjudged it. That will be an error there. And then he picked it up and threw it over the second baseman's head. Shortstop was not covering behind. So the first run of the ball game is unearned, but it's still a run, and it belongs to Navy Ortega.
Maybe early ball game jitters possibly. Regardless, NOL scores the first run of the game. Gavin Miller circles the bases on what looked like it was going to be a routine out to right field, but 9 and 10-year-olds, there's no such thing as routine. There's absolutely no such thing as routine. Now William Moore steps into the box hitting from the right side. First pitch right down the middle. Nice pitch by Cody Clymer from Palm Coast.
So now, Steve, what I just said doesn't make a lot of sense about Pascarella doing such a nice job. The pitcher's very confident now, and then the right fielder makes a poor judgment error out there, and it gets him a run.
Foul tip, no balls, and 2 strikes. They're 9 and 10-year-olds. It's just going to happen.
Well, you see that in Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, those things happen. That's why it's a tough game to play.
Now William Moore in the hole, 0-2. Breaking ball right back to the pitcher, fielded cleanly. Thrown over to first base to record the out. Not a problem for Cody Clymer on the mound. So now there's 2 outs in the bottom of the first inning. NOL up 1-0 over Palm Coast early in this section tournament ball game. That'll bring up the cleanup hitter for Navy Ortega Lakeshore, wearing number 34, Brooks Beach.
Next time Joe LeBlanc in his flowered Hawaiian shirt walks by, maybe we can find out what the next level. Well, we know the next level is state,
yeah,
but we don't know where it is. I don't anyway.
Ball low and away, 1 ball and no strikes to the NOL second baseman. Clymer gets the sign. Here's the pitch. Off-speed pitch, two-hopper to the first baseman. Bobbles, fields, gets it back. You know, it was one of those two hoppers to the first baseman. He dropped it, picked it up, dropped it, picked it up. While all that was going on, Brooks Beach reaches first safely by half a step.
Beach, a little guy, Steve, but showed some nice running there. Moved down the baseline well, and that will be the third error of the ball game against Palm Coast. One of them cost him dearly earlier in this inning. Let's see if this will cost him any more trouble.
So now NOL with a runner on first and 2 outs in the bottom of the first inning. Jeb Allen stepping into the box, hitting from the right side. A well-hit ball way back. Center fielder goes back up against the fence. Going to third, rounding third. There might be a play at home. There will not be a play at home. NOL will score their second run of the game, a stand-up double by Jeb Allen of NOL Jacksonville.
And Steve, that ball, these fields are 200 feet. That ball went 199 feet 4 inches because it hit the top of the fence on the Sonny's Barbecue sign and bounced back in. So that is an RBI double. Brooks Beach comes in all the way from first.
Thomas Seeley did a nice job for Palm Coast getting the ball back in, but the ball was hit so hard over his head as Mac Hellman takes a look at the first pitch. In the zone, no balls and 1 strike. NOL 2, Palm Coast nothing. We're in the bottom of the first inning, 2 outs. Jeb Allen on second base. Chopper back to the pitcher, going to be close. Nice play by Palm Coast. Record that one as a 1-3 put out.
So they end the bottom of the first inning for Navy Ortega. They push 2 runs across on a double, the double RBI double by Jeb Allen. Palm Coast committing 3 errors and 1 runner left on base. So after 1 complete inning of play, it's NOL 2 and Palm Coast 0.
We'd like to thank Knutson Brain Spine Injury Law Office. They provide representation for members of the public who have suffered head trauma or a brain or spinal cord injury. Knutson Brain Spine Injury Law Office is located in Rockledge at 830 Executive Lane, Suite 140. The phone number for Jim Knutson, area code 321-632-2722. We'd also like to thank Mike Walker and Planet Fitness. They're located in Rockledge Plaza at 1802 U.S. Highway 1. Planet Fitness has a 23,000 square foot facility with fitness equipment and cardio machines. The phone number 321-433-1331. Also mentioning Planet Fitness, they're in Rockledge on US 1 near the Barton US 1 intersection. Planet Fitness will be holding a blood drive this Tuesday. You'll see the big red bus outside of Planet Fitness from 3:30 to 7 o'clock. If you're in the area, there's a need, an incredible need for blood. It's an ongoing need, but there seems to be more so now than at any other time. So if you're anywhere near Rockledge, Planet Fitness on Tuesday from 3:30 to 7, stop by. Mike's going to give you pizza. They've got drinks, donate a little bit of blood. Check out the facility. If you're not a member of Planet Fitness, it's unbelievable what it looks like now compared to 2 months ago. They've done some renovating, and it's like a brand new gym, and I call it a gym. You can go in there and you see people of all shapes and sizes. It's not an intimidating place to go to. I say that because that's where I go.
Well.
Hey, if I can go there.
I went there for many, many years, Steve, and like you said, they did close it down and they remodeled it, and they did a real nice job. Mike and his crew, very helpful. If you go in there and tell them you want to work on a certain thing or you have a problem and this is what I need to fix, they'll get with you and line up a program for you that will be best for you. And they're open 24 hours a day, Monday through Thursday, I believe.
No, they're open 7 days a week.
Oh, now? 24 hours?
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right.
So we'll hit the top of the second inning. Braden Stewart will step in. He's the catcher. First pitch from William Moore is a ball, and that will be ball number 1. In the first inning, Palm Coast not able to push anybody across. Cody Clymer, the pitcher, with a base hit. Ground ball, pitcher through his legs. Shortstop picks it up. Can he make it in time? And he does. And Freddie Villanueva punches him out at first base. I guess, Steve, that would be a 1-6-3. And that will be out number 1.
Yeah, you don't see that very often. Nice play defensively by Mac Hellman at shortstop. It would have been easy for him to assume the pitcher was going to field it and let up. He did not. He stayed on the ball, made a nice throw to first base. So there's 1 out in the top of the second inning.
So the state, Steve, is the next tournament for these teams here today, and that will be July 15th and 17th. That will happen in Tallahassee, Florida. What a way to go to play a ball game. Holy mackerel.
Hey, it's where my grandson is. We might have to go over there and do that one.
Well, I know that Joe LeBlanc, the District 22 administrator, plenty of money in the bank account. If Merritt Island wins it, I'm sure he'll just fly him up there.
I wanted to fly us up there.
Ground ball, first base side, going to be a bounce off the first baseman. He'll pick it up cleanly. Connor May does out, and that will be out number 2.
Nice play by Derek Carson, getting his body in front of it. It looked like trouble to start with. It was well hit, one of those 2-3 hoppers, but Carson did a nice job staying with it, fielding it cleanly and stepping on the bag.
So we'll have 2 outs now here in the top of the second for Palm Coast. Jason Roberts, the head coach, will send his number 7 batter, and that will be Joel Gargon. Gargon playing second base for Palm Coast. He'll step in. 2 outs. Pitcher William Moore cruising nicely. He's got a 2-run lead here in the top of the second inning. Here's the first pitch. That way outside, and that will be ball number 1. Navy Ortega picked up 2 runs excuse me, in the bottom of the first inning. Gavin Miller reached on a base on an error. That pitch way upstairs. And then the right fielder overthrew second base. Miller did not stop. He came all the way around. And then Brooke Beach reached on an error by the first baseman. Here's the next pitch. That's low and away, and that will be ball 3. And then a stand-up double off the wall in center field. Jeb Allen comes up with an RBI double to put in the second run. That pitch is outside, so Joel Gargon will draw a walk. And that will be the first runner in the inning, the second runner in the ball game for Palm Coast. So with 2 outs and a runner at first base, we'll bring up number 8 hitter, third baseman Reese Monroe. Steve, you look at the flag out in center field blowing. It looks like a little bit east to west, maybe a little southeast to west. Here's the first pitch, catches the outside corner to Reese Monroe, and that will be strike number 1.
It was so close to the coast that more often than not it's blowing out of the east, and it appears to pretty much be blowing that way, which would be from left field to right field.
Next pitch is up and away, and that will be ball 1. That will even up your count at 1 ball and 1 strike. There's a fly ball. First baseman, is going to call for it in foul territory. Kind of slipped a little bit as he planted under it. The ball hits his glove and bounces out. Carson not able to make the play, and that will take the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Steve, foul territory there. You can't give the man an error even though it hit his glove and bounced out. I always say if this guy now reaches first base on a base hit, that you should go back and give Carson an error. Your thought on that?
That was a good effort by Derek Carson. I wouldn't.
Umpire, wow, surprised everybody. Umpire likes the call. That's Scott Johnson behind the plate. Monroe will look at strike 3, and that will be the 3rd out in the inning here in the top of the second inning. The line score for Palm Coast: no runs, no hits, no errors, 1 runner left on. After 1.5, it's Navy Ortega 2, Palm Coast 0.
Yeah, to answer your question, I wouldn't call it an error at this level. You got to remember these are 9 and 10-year-olds. There's no such thing as a routine play. You get to the higher level, possibly I can understand that if it's a play that you think should have been routinely made, even though it's in foul territory and it wasn't. Yeah, you can make an argument for that, but I wouldn't do it at this level.
So we'll give you, after the next inning, we'll give you the comparison of the pitchers so far. After 1 inning, I can do that for you. For Palm Coast, the pitcher for Palm Coast, Cody Clymer, threw 15 pitches, faced 6 batters. Had no strikeouts, no walks, no hit batters. The problem, gave up 1 double, which is an RBI, and also 2 errors behind him cost him a run. Well, actually cost both runs scored on errors, or reached on errors to start with. Pitch count, 15 pitches for Cody Clymer. For the Navy Ortega pitcher, William Moore, threw 21 pitches his first at bat, faced 4 batters. Struck out all 3 batters in the middle, sandwiched in a base hit to Clymer. So right now he's looking at 3 strikeouts, and he got a strikeout that inning. So 4 strikeouts, 1 walk, and no hit batters. So we head to the bottom of the second inning. Navy Ortega will try to add to their lead, presently winning 2-0. We're going to talk, while we have a break here, we're going to talk to the district administrator of District 22, Joe LeBlanc. He's the one that makes sure everything happens properly and everybody does everything that they're supposed to do. Joe, welcome to a Saturday edition of the Friday Night Locker Room.
Sounds good.
Joe, first off, I want to thank you for allowing the Friday Night Locker Room, Steve and I, to come over and broadcast the games for you. We know it's exciting for the kids, but we're all the time trying to highlight local sports, and what better at the the first tier of Little League, and that's 8, 9, and 10s.
Yep, you're right about that. They're the first ones that go to tournaments. So, if you want, we can wait and talk next inning when they get a break. They're about to come up and start batting here, so I'll let you take back to the play-by-play.
As Noah McDonald is about set to step into the batter's box, McDonald hitting in the number 7 slot will hit from the right side wearing number 22. The big tall righty is set in the batter's box. First pitch off the glove of the first baseman. Looks like reaching safely will be Noah McDonald. It was a pop fly, little blooper to about 15 feet to the right of the first baseman, which is Roberts went as far as he could, went off of his glove towards second base, allowed McDonald to reach first base safely. So that'll put an NOL runner on first with nobody out in the bottom of the second inning. NOL up by a score of 2-0.
And Steve, looking at that, talking about the age group of these players, first baseman, yes, he did not make the catch in the air, but he went backhand toward the second base side. So I think Noah McDonald gets a base hit there. What do you think?
No, I agree. I wholeheartedly. Number 9, Tyler Perkins, will now be Joe, did they call it a courtesy runner? Is that the correct terminology, or a pinch runner?
They call it a special pinch runner. They can do it once per inning, only once per an offensive player, but they can do it once per inning with any fielder or any player that is currently not in the batting lineup.
All right, so that's Tyler Perkins, now your runner for NOL in place of Noah McDonald, as Russell Beard steps into the batter's box hitting from the left side. Beard looks at the first pitch, out of the zone, 1 ball and no strikes.
Steve swallowed a bug. Joe LeBlanc setting in with us. Next pitch catches the outside corner, and that will be a strike, and that should even it up at 1 ball and 1 strike, and it does. 2 runs in the bottom of the first inning for Naval Ortega. Now they got their leadoff runner on first. Here's the next pitch. Ground ball to the third base side. It's going to be foul, and that will take your count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Steve, cheeseburger smell in the air.
Ooh, I like the sound of that. What do you think, Joe?
Oh, I love it. Paradon's got a good concession here.
Joe, I want to ask you here in between pitches about the next level from where these guys go after this Section 3 tournament, right after this out.
That pitch just a little high. Nice grab by the catcher for Palm Coast. Braden Stewart. Throw down to first base, trying to keep Perkins close. 2 balls, 2 strikes. On the NOL right fielder, 2-2 pitch. Swing and miss, strike 3. Beard goes down for the first out here in the bottom of the second inning.
And that will be the first strikeout by Cody Clymer, so he has 1 strikeout in the ball game.
That'll bring up the NOL first baseman wearing number 6, Derek Carson.
Carson, a little guy, Steve, hitting from the left side. First time we've seen him hit. He'll face Cody Clymer for the first time with 1 out and a runner at first.
Carson showing bunt. Offers a nice bunt back to the pitcher. Will advance the runner to second base. Throw to first is high, sliding safely at first, now going all the way to third, and thrown out at third. Trying to advance is Tyler Perkins. It was a nice bunt by Derek Carson back to the pitcher. The throw at first was high, which allowed Carson to slide in safely at first base. Perkins rounded second, tried to advance to third. Nice throw by the first baseman from Palm Coast. That's Dalton Roberts to get Perkins trying to advance. So now there's 2 outs in the bottom of the second inning with a runner on first. That'll get NOL back to the top of their batting order and bring up center fielder number 3, Robert Adams. Adams 0 for 1 this morning, ground out to the shortstop to start this ball game offensively for NOL. First pitch outside, 1 ball and no strikes. 2 outs, Derek Carson, your runner for NOL on first. Pitch by Clymer inside, actually gets a piece of the jersey. So Adams will trot to first base. Carson will trot to second base. NOL now with runners on first and second. 2 outs in the bottom of the second, up by a score of 2-0. And now about to set to step into the batter's box, number 00, Gavin Miller. Miller reached and eventually scored the first run for NOL in the bottom of the first inning, pitched by Cody Clymer. Just a little high, 1 ball and no strikes. Steve Moore would like to add to that 2-0 lead that he currently enjoys. This is a regulation 6-inning baseball game between Palm Coast and NOL. Foul dribbler towards the first base side. Nice crowd today. You look to the third base side, NOL from Jacksonville. It's brought a nice crowd to, what do you say, Orville, 2.5 hours from Jacksonville?
If you're driving like I do, if you're driving like you do, it's 4.5 hours away. But
that's
if you drive like me, it's an hour and 45.
2 balls and 1 strike on Gavin Miller. Nice crowd from Palm Coast as well. It'll be a long day not only for the players but for the parents as well. Pitch by Clymer. Check swing, nice job by by Miller. He almost went after it.
Steve, what about long day for us? We're the only ones in the whole crowd's going to be doing all 3 games.
Oh, no, it's just important for us to have a steady run of cheeseburgers and water.
What am I, chopped liver?
Well, you're just sitting there in air conditioning.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh.
Swing and a miss, nice pitch by Clymer. That'll run the count full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs in the bottom of the second inning. Cody Clymer 1 strike away from getting out of this mini jam, so to speak, in NOL with runners on first and second. Payoff pitch. High and tight.
Loads of bases, Steven.
Bases full of Navy Ortega Lakeshore All-Stars.
And, Steve, you're right about a long day. These coaches had to show up for an 8 o'clock managers meeting, and if they stay around for the last game, the winner of this game plays the last game, they will not be leaving until after 7 tonight.
It's a long day for everyone as William Moore is set to step into the box. Moore can do some damage. Bases loaded, 2 outs, bottom of the second, first pitch. Inside, 1 ball and no strikes. NOL 2, Palm Coast nothing. A base hit to the outfield could double that in an instant. Second pitch, same place, inside, 2 balls and no strikes.
Joe pointing out, I was just watching a squirrel came onto the field and ran about halfway up the baseline and turned around, went back under. That's always good for a video.
Yeah. Nice pitch, nice stop by the catcher. That pitch low and away, number 99, the catcher, Braden Stewart, probably saved a run on that backhand, but NOL now in the driver's seat, 3 balls, no strikes.
Cody Clymer's got to throw a strike here.
And he does. 3 balls and 1 strike.
And let me repeat that. He's got to throw a strike here.
And you can say that again after this pitch,
after
too.
this pitch, too.
3 balls and 1 strike. 2 outs, bottom of the second. Bases full of NOL All-Stars. Here's the pitch. Ground ball back to the pitcher. Nice play defensively. Throwing to first to record the out. Pitcher Cody Clymer had to go to his right. Reached as far as he could. Snagged it, spun around, made a nice throw to first baseman Dalton Roberts to record the out.
So the line score for Navy Ortega Lakeshore in the bottom of the second inning, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 runners left on base. Your score after 2 complete, Navy Ortega 2 and Palm Coast 0.
Joe LeBlanc, District Administrator. Did I get the title right?
You got it right.
Okay,
yes, you did, Steve.
How many teams will participate at the state level?
At the state level, there will be 8 teams from the 8 sections of Florida. This is Section 3 that we are playing in right now. It consists of us, District 19 that's up around Daytona, Palm Coast, and District 11, which is Jacksonville all the way out to Baker County.
Now, is it a double elimination tournament, or how does that work?
They do they'll be in two pools of 4 teams. They'll play pool play. Each team will play 3 games. They'll advance the winner from each pool to a final, and that's how they find out the state winner, and that state winner will then advance to regionals.
And that tournament, again, will be held
Actually, there's not a regional tournament. It's an invitational. All the state winners get to go to an invitational up in South Carolina.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. What I meant was the state tournament will be held next weekend.
Next weekend up at Tallahassee at Chair's Capitola Little League.
Is it a 3-day tournament? Is it Thursday, Friday, Saturday?
It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 15th through the 17th. They'll start Friday afternoon about 1 o'clock, I think is the first game. They'll play at 1 and 3 are the 2 games. Then they'll come back Saturday and play. They'll have games at 9, 12, 3, and 6, and then they'll do their final at 10 o'clock on Sunday morning.
You're listening to Joe LeBlanc, District Administrator, educating us. We need all the education we can get, Joe, especially this one to my left.
I'm leading you straight then, Steve.
Blue.
Beautiful evening, beautiful morning in Brevard County. I'm Steve Wilson, once again with Orville Susong. Joe LeBlanc, special Friday night locker room, Saturday morning edition. We'll be here all day. You're on Space Coast Daily if you're listening to this broadcast, spacecoastdaily.com. The 1 p.m. game and the 4 p.m. game will be live streamed, which means you'll be able to see it as well as listen to it. It'll be the Merritt Island 9 and 10-year-old All-Stars versus the loser of this game between Palm Coast and NOL. We're early, still moving to the top of the 3rd inning. Joe?
Well, Steve, I got to let you and Orville go as the batter steps in here. I got another tournament going over in Rockledge, junior softball, so I'll let y'all pick up, and I'll talk with y'all later. Thanks again.
By the way, your T-shirts are in the press box upstairs in Rockledge.
Already got them brought, sir.
There you go. So we go to the top of the 3rd inning. I want to thank Joe LeBlanc, the District 22 Administrator. Ground ball, shortstop, going to be a long throw. Will he make it? Not in time. Freddie Villanueva, the head umpire at first base, says no. So that will be a base hit for Palm Coast. That will be their 2nd hit of the ball game. So the number 9 hitter, Thomas Seeley, with a base hit, he'll have a runner at first.
Yeah.
So
that was an infield hit, slow roller between the shortstop and the 3rd baseman.
So the base hit, good. Brennan Strickland steps in now. He'll lay down the bunt. Pitcher's going to handle it. Throw to first base. He gets him. Freddie Villanueva will pump him out at first base. And so that will be 1-3 if you're scoring that. Thomas Seeley will move down to first base. Actually, that will not be a 1-3. That will be a sacrifice bunt. So no harm, no foul there. Cody Clymer, the pitcher, will step in down. He had the first base hit of the ball game back in the 1st inning, was stranded at second base. We've got 2-0 here. Navy Ortega winning that pitch outside corner, called strike number 1. On the mound, William Moore so far has gone the distance. This is his 3rd inning. He's thrown 33 pitches coming into this inning. That ball, foul ball out over the first base dugout. And that will run the count to no balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the top of the 3rd.
That one hit on top of one of the pop-up tents down the first base side that Palm Coast parents brought. It got them good.
We're waiting for our air conditioning unit, right, Steve, to be delivered? It's late or something?
And I'm about ready for it to kick in because it is hot and it's still the 3rd inning of game 1.
And you let your nice ice-cold water set out in the sun, so it'll be nice and warm.
It's wet.
Well, here, I'll put it back in the cooler.
That ball gets past the catcher, advancing to 3rd base. Palm Coast runner now standing 60 feet away from home plate. Palm Coast down 2-0 to NOL, top of the 3rd inning.
Count 1 ball, 2 strikes on the hitter, and that is Cody Clymer, the pitcher for Palm Coast. He'll step back in. Thomas Seeley at 3rd. He got a base hit, went to 2nd, and now standing on 3rd base. Here's the pitch way upstairs, and that will even up your count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. I want to thank Barry Signs, located at 1740 South Huntington Lane in Rockledge. They are a full-service sign company specializing in new construction, LED sales, and rentals. Special thanks to Dennis and Joanne Barry for supporting local sports. The phone number is 631-6150.
Looks like we have a timeout called.
I can't see because of the screen, but
because I put you behind the screen.
There you go.
Palm Coast talking to his base runner and his batter.
Yep. But Steve, normally in a situation like this, you'd watch the pitch count, and then at a certain time, you'd want to take him out if he's doing well to save him for another game. But 9 and 10-year-olds, if you throw one pitch in the first game, you're not allowed to throw at all in the second game. So you let your pitcher go as far as he can go. So we also have to worry about the catcher, who can only catch in 3 innings. Okay, so that's what's happening. They're looking at the catcher can only catch 3 innings. If he catches into the 4th inning, he's not allowed to pitch. So that will be actually, maybe we could get old Don Guilford on that mic here, and he can explain it to us so we don't have to keep trying to listen in on it. But that's the situation we're going to have right now. Palm Coast is going to switch their pitcher and their catcher. So Cody Clymer here in the top of the 3rd inning will go behind the plate.
Okay, now we're going to find out what's going on the field. Don Guilford, tournament director, is that your title? Okay, Don, what's going on?
Okay, if a pitcher pitches more than 40 pitches, he is not allowed to catch. So that's what this substitution looks like.
Yeah, and he stopped him exactly at 40 pitches too. So obviously Don right on the money on that.
Thank you, Don. Just got to go to people in the know.
There you go. So the new pitcher will be number 99. That will be Braden Stewart. No, that's not number 99.
Let's see if I can see who that is.
Oh, I'm writing it all on the wrong
That's
side.
number 4. That's Brooks Beach is now the pitcher. I tell you, the position changes drive you nuts at Little League because they don't have to tell us who's where. We'll pick up the pitching, but other than that, so we know the second baseman has gone to the pitcher's mound. Let's see who's on the. See if there are any other changes that we can pick up. We know there are.
Oh no, that's right. I'm doing it right. I'm over here. Okay. So number 4 is now pitching, and that is Brooks Beach. So he's there.
Well, that's 34. Okay.
Number 34.
No, that's 4. Mac Hellman is pitching.
Oh, okay. Oh, I got the.
I didn't know
position.
what that 3 meant.
That's a 34.
I'm trying to read your writing, and that's my first problem. So it'll be number 4 on the mound for NOL.
And he'll come in the top of the 3rd inning. So all this stuff here that I wrote is wrong. Okay.
And he moves over from shortstop.
Well, I don't care about that.
Well, we do. We want to call the right names defensively.
Okay. Somehow,
best.
Steve, you need to figure out how to get my little blue magic marker. It's way up by your feet.
I'm looking.
Do you have a little kid you can send under there?
Oh, my gosh.
So
That's
number 4, Brooks Beach for Navy Ortega will now go to the mound. So he'll be the new pitcher. We'll give you the line score for...
No. Mac Hellman's the pitcher.
Oh, Mac Hellman. See, I'm too young for this kind of stuff.
It's too early in the morning for us. Friday night locker room. There's a reason our show is called the Friday night locker room. It's not the Saturday morning. It's not the Saturday morning locker room. There's no telling what you're in store for game 2 and 3.
10 for 22.
I heard him say 10 for 22.
I thought 10 went in for 2.
Okay. 15 for 2.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Umpire comes over and lets us know, which he doesn't have to do because we are not the official scorer.
10 for 22.
Once again, I'm Steve Wilson along with Orville Susong, special Saturday edition of the Friday Night Locker Room. NOL out of Jacksonville 2, Palm Coast nothing in this 9 and 10 All-Star game. Game 1 of 3 that we'll be bringing you live today. Game 1 audio only. Game 2 and 3 live stream, which means you can hear it and see it.
So our situation here is, Steve, we got a runner at third base, and that's Thomas Seeley. Brendan Strickland laid down a sacrifice bunt. Cody Clymer now is in the plate, and he's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now, that catches the outside corner, so the first pitch thrown by Matt Hellman is a strike, and he will get the credit for that strikeout.
How about that? 1 pitch, 1 strikeout.
Well, you know, the thing that surprises me, though, the pitcher should have been allowed to finish that batter.
He pitched 40, didn't he?
Yeah, but in the rule book, you're allowed to finish the batter you're at.
Not in the tournament. It's a hard and fast 40.
Okay.
Now, there's a maximum number that you can throw. in a game, isn't that correct?
75. I think.
You can finish that batter.
Oh, okay.
But 40 is a hard and fast number. You have to stop.
Okay, first pitch is a strike. That pitch is way out of the strike zone. Stepping in now, Jace Pascarillo had a strikeout, made a great play in the first inning to start the ball game off defensively for Palm Coast. He's set up for Navy Ortega. Here's the pitch, swung on and missed. That was strike 2. We're in the top of the third inning. Navy Ortega Lakeshore up 2-0 over Palm Coast. So the count now 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the third. New pitcher, and that is Mac Hellman. Swinging and a miss, and that's strike 3. Steve Hellman comes in. He throws 5 pitches and gets 2 strikeouts. How do you do that?
Yeah, Coach Steve Moore, when we talked to him before the game, he said he liked his pitching staff.
Yeah.
And if the first 2 pitchers are any indication as to what he has, I don't blame him for liking it.
So that will be the 3rd out of the inning, and that will end the 3rd inning on a plus note for Navy Ortega. The line score, no runs on 1 hit. No errors, 1 runner left on base. Your score after 2.5, Navy Ortega 2 and Palm Coast 0.
We would like to thank Al's Trophy Shop, 2 Brevard County locations, one on Palm Bay Road in Palm Bay, the other in Cocoa on US 1 just north of the beach line. Al's Trophy Shop creates custom plaques and trophies. They can be reached by phone at 321-636-6188. That's Al's Trophy Shop. We'd also like to thank DeCandio and Associates Allstate Insurance. They have 2 locations, one in Port St. John at 950 Fay Boulevard, and the other in Mims at 3239 North Highway US 1. For auto, home, life investments, disability, plus boats, motorcycles, 4-wheelers, or renters insurance, Jennifer DeCandio, Agency Principal and Associates, Allstate Insurance.
So we have some changes now, Steve, for Palm Coast. They have 3 substitutes, and they're putting them all in here in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
Did he give you positions?
No,
I know
they don't even require them. So.
I know it. I know. I hate that because now somebody makes a great play, you're going to say, nice play by the shortstop.
So Gucano Scarroll goes in. He'll be the leadoff hitter. He'll be replacing Brennan Striplin. And also into the ball game now will be number 5, Mason Kepler. He'll be hitting in the 6th spot, and he replaces Connor May. And in number 34, Isaiah Trawick will hit in the 7th spot, and he'll be replacing Joel Gargon. So there you have it. So to the bottom of the 3rd inning we go. Navy Ortega will be at the plate. Steve Wilson will be on the mic. Stephen, welcome back.
Thanks, Orville. Still trying to pick up a few positions. Number 34, Isaac Trawick is now the shortstop. Jace Pascarello, I know has slid over to second base, and that's all I know. As we move to the bottom of the 3rd inning, NOL 2, Palm Coast nothing. It'll be Brooks Beach, Jeb Allen, and Mac Hellman hitting 1, 2, 3. First pitch thrown inside, 1 ball and no strikes to Brooks Beach. Off-speed pitch catches the corner, evens it up at 1-1. Cody Clymer still on the mound for the Palm Coast All-Stars. 1-1 pitch to Beach. Just a little low, 2 balls and 1 strike.
So 3 substitutions that Palm Coast has on their bench, all 3 of them in the ball game now. We have, I think, 1 for Navy Ortega so far. No, we have 2. Number 15, John Pagic, in the ball game now.
Beach swings through that pitch, evens up the count at 2-2. Wind kind of whipping around. And when this game started, it was kind of out of the east-southeast. Now it's out of the southwest and almost changed directions. Call strike 3 on the corner. Nice pitch by Cody Clymer. 1 out in the bottom of the 3rd. That'll bring up number 14 for NOL, Jeb Allen. Allen started the game in left field. As far as we know, he's still there. The big right-hander steps into the box, looks at the first pitch outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Mac Hellman on deck for the NOL All-Stars. Here's the pitch by Clymer. That's inside. Quickly, 2 balls and no strikes on Allen.
2 bottles down, 9 to go, Steve. You better get a drink.
I know it. You got to stay hydrated today. Nice pitch by Clymer. 2 balls and 1 strike. NOL scored 2 runs in the bottom of the first inning. Did not score last inning. That pitch low and away. 3 balls and 1 strike.
The Cody Clymer still pitching for Palm Coast after 2 innings, 235 pitches, had 1 strikeout, 1 walk, and 1 hit batter.
Pitch by Clymer is high. Jeb Allen's going to take a walk. That'll put an NOL All-Star on first base with 1 out in the bottom of the 3rd inning and bring up the pitcher, number 4, Mac Hellman. Hellman hitting from the right side, swinging a bright orange bat. First pitch is high and away, 1 ball and no strikes. Now it's a stiff breeze blowing almost due west. This is crazy.
Turned it around. The
really
flag was flying to the right side, to third base side. Excuse me, right field. Now it's down the shortstop
Well,
side.
he had balls knocked down by the third baseman. Throw across the diamond. Good stretch by the first baseman. He got him. Nice play by the third baseman for Palm Coast just to knock it down. Good stretch by number 12, the first baseman, Dalton Roberts. So now there's 2 outs in the bottom of the 3rd inning. In the meantime, Jeb Allen advances to second base. So now batting, Catherine Brewer will be hitting in the place of Noah McDonald. Catherine hitting from the right side. First pitch to Brewer outside, 1 ball and no strikes.
Steve, 2 or 3 nice defensive plays here early in this ball game for Navy Ortega and also for Palm Coast. Very impressive.
Popped up in the foul territory, out of play. Nice swing by Catherine Brewer. That'll even up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. I believe she's the only female in the tournament. I don't remember Merritt Island having one from 2 weeks ago.
No, I think she is.
She swings the bat well. 1-1 pitch from Clymer. Outside, gets past the catcher, trying to go to third and advancing, sliding safely is Jeb Allen. So now NOL with a runner on third base. 2 outs in the bottom of the 3rd, up 2-0. Would love to get that run home. Catherine Brewer steps back into the box. She'll be looking at a 2-1 pitch from Cody Clymer. Swing and a miss will even it up at 2-2.
Nice cut taken by the young lady, Catherine Brewer. She comes into the ball game here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. She'll hit for Noah McDonald.
Deuces wild across the bottom of the custom print scoreboard. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Brewer goes down on strikes.
And again, Palm Coast able to keep Ortega from scoring a run. They left another one at third base. The line score in the bottom of the 3rd. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 runner left on base. Your score after 3 complete. NOL 2, Palm Coast 0.
We'd like to thank our title sponsor, Mike Urban of Mike Urban Nissan Cadillac. The dealership located on the 520 Causeway, Merritt Island, is an authorized sales and service outlet for new Nissan and Cadillac products, and it carries a line of used cars and trucks. The website, MikeUrbanMotors.com. The telephone, 321-453-2050. We'd also like to thank Space Coast Daily, SpaceCoastDaily.com. Space Coast Daily, the magazine, anything news-related, anything sports-related, anything entertainment-related in the medical field, you name it, Space Coast Daily is on top of it. Go to their website. If you're listening to this broadcast now, you're on SpaceCoastDaily.com's website. If you haven't liked the page, click like. You will not regret it. I'm telling you, they do things, and they do things right. That's SpaceCoastDaily.com. Tom Palermo, Giles Malone, Zach Clark, Dr. Jim Palermo, and the real boss, Allison Malone.
Yeah,
and,
that's for sure.
There's just a host of individuals. that know what they're doing. That's SpaceCoastDaily.com.
And Steve, if you pick up this article, this magazine for this month, what is it? Come out every 3 months?
Every couple of months.
Every couple of months. There is a 5-page article in there on the Friday Night Locker Room, and we are so excited about seeing that. Nice pictures, great article about the past, what we've done, the original founder, Keith Lippert, what he did to get the ball rolling, and how we've attempted to try to keep his legacy and his dream of bringing local youth sports to the airwaves. And so far, after 18 years, we've seemed to be doing it.
You know, it's interesting. We started football only, and then it kind of evolved from there fairly quickly. It's hard to believe next week it'll be time for us to start contacting the high school football coaches to set up our first of 2 coaches shows. That'll be the first and second Friday in August, which isn't that far away. We'll be at Beef O'Brady's in Cocoa on State Road 524 talking to high school football coaches, picking their brain. But first things first is 9 and 10-year-old All-Star section tournament play for the right to advance to state.
Mac Hellman on the mound for Navy Ortega. This will be his second inning. Here's the first pitch right down the middle of the plate. That will be called strike. Stepping in to hit will be first baseman number 12, Dalton Roberts. Braden Stewart on deck for Palm Coast. Navy Ortega with a 2-0 lead. That pitch is way outside. Dalton Roberts will step back in now with a count of 1-1 strike. Planet Fitness of Rockledge, located 1802 U.S. Highway number 1 in Rockledge. Mac Hellman ready to go. Here's the pitch. That's a little high, and that will be ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. Steve, 3 or 4 bang-bang plays at first base. I think the umpires got them all right. A bang-bang play at third. I think they got the one there right. That pitch is outside. It seems to be that Scott Johnson behind the plate calling a pretty consistent game. No one from either side's really yelled at him yet.
Yet.
You'll know when that starts. 3 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Fouled back to the screen right at Steve Wilson. I had to dive over in front and protect him. But
don't think I don't appreciate it,
that's
too.
my job. I know that. First thing on the top of my contract, protect Steve Wilson from harm. So I try to do that. Top of the 4th inning, Navy Ortega Lakeshore up 2-0 over Palm Coast. The loser of this game at 1 o'clock will tee off and play Merritt Island Little League All-Stars. They come into this tournament after winning their county tournament. They went undefeated. Swing and a miss, and that will be strike 3. Dalton Roberts will go down swinging for the first out here in the 4th.
Mac Hellman has come into relief as a relief pitcher last inning. He means business.
And he done a nice job. Last inning, he had 2 strikeouts, no walks.
Yes. 3 consecutive strikeouts now for Hellman.
So he's doing a great job. He'll step back in now to face him. Will be Braden Stewart. First pitch called strike number 1. Guy's doing a nice job, Steven. When you can bring in your number 2 pitcher and he be that consistent, you got a nice little deal going here. Swing on and then a miss by Stewart. Now we'll run the count to no balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, he's the number 2 pitcher here. You never know who's the ace, so to speak, in a format like this. I'd always start my best, but the philosophy of coaches is a little different.
That ball's called strike 3. Stewart looks at it, and then will be out number 2, and that will be the 4th consecutive batter, and that will be the 4th consecutive strikeout for the number 2 pitcher, who come in relief here in the 3rd. And his name, Mac Hellman, and now he'll face number 5, Mason Kepler, who steps in his first opportunity. He replaces Connor May. That pitch is low and away, and that will be ball number 1. So Mason Kepler off the bench for Palm Coast will get his playing time. Here's the next pitch. Inside corner. Steve, you got to like the way the little guy doing. Mac Hellman, he's inside out, outside in, and keeping the batters off balance.
Yeah, very impressive on the mound is Mac Hellman of the NOL All-Stars.
And there's another strike. The only thing, you look and see how deep they go, Steve, because if you throw 1 pitch this game, you cannot play in the next game. Or you cannot pitch in the next game. So,
but Coach Moore said he likes his pitching staff. He said at the outset it is deep, and then all 3 teams, their pitching staffs will be tested.
Yeah. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the 4th inning, 2-0. Here's the pitch. Couldn't get that one out of his hand.
Yeah.
And it way outside, hits the back of the screen, and that will run the count full to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Second time out of 5 batters that he's took the count to 3 balls and 2 strikes both times. Here's the next pitch. Inside corner, called strike 3. And Mac Hellman comes in, faces 5 batters in 2 innings, and he has 5 strikeouts. So the line score for Palm Coast in the top of the 4th, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on.
And, of course, we'd like to thank Beef O'Brady, State Road 524. That's Sean O'Reilly, Timmy O'Reilly. The whole gang of Beefs have always been big supporters of local sports, so the tie-in with the Friday night locker room is a natural. The menu includes chicken, steak, and fish taco baskets and wings. Thanks to Sean O'Reilly, Timmy O'Reilly, Beef O'Brady's, State Road 524 in Cocoa. As I mentioned, last half inning will be at Beef's the first and second Fridays of August, talking to the high school football coaches from Brevard County. There are 16 schools in Brevard County that play football. We'll be talking to all of them. Some we'll get some information from, some we won't. Some will say, well, we're going to be awful, and they'll go through 10-0.
Yeah.
But I tell you, football in the fall is going to be fun in Brevard County. There are going to be some really good teams, Orville.
But, Steve, we've done our coaches show for Beef O'Brady's for the last 3 or 4 years. Sean O'Reilly, the owner, and his brother Timmy O'Reilly have always been very good to us, and they've even now set off a special part of the restaurant called the Coach's Corner, and that will be for the Friday night locker room. Our banner's already up there. It's up there 365 days a year. Mm-hmm. And so we're very proud of that. Also, we're co-sponsors with Beef O'Brady's and the scoreboard over at Cocoa High School baseball field, so we're getting our brand out a little bit here and there. And we've gotten on the coattails of Beef O'Brady's a little bit to partner with them on some stuff, and also, being able to partnership with SpaceCoastDaily.com. Giles Malone and Tom Palermo has certainly sent your paycheck through the roof.
Oh, it's unbelievable. If I told you what I made, you wouldn't believe it. I'll put it that way. But our partnership around the county, the businesses and the schools have been so supportive of what we do. We're very fortunate to be able to broadcast youth sports in Brevard County. For us, it's all about bringing something positive to the youngsters, both male and female, that play the sports, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, softball. Obviously, we're in the middle of the summer now. School's out, so it's Little League for us. We get into just a little bit of everything, but there's nothing quite like covering the youngsters. And now with the advent of technology, we'll be bringing you Game 2 and Game 3 where you can not only listen to it, but see it as well. So we're excited about that, and a big thank you goes to SpaceCoastDaily.com for giving us an outlet to do what we're doing.
So we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Navy Ortega will be at bat and also with the lead, 2-0.
NOL scored their runs in the first inning. In the bottom of the first inning, haven't scored since then, but Palm Coast has yet to dent the scoreboard. For NOL, it'll be the number 8, 9, and 1 batters. That'll be John Pagic. You'll have to...
Right there.
Yeah, I can't read your writing.
Durham
Branch. There's no way that says Durham Branch. I know that's who it is.
Yeah,
you need to take like a penmanship course.
Have you seen the way you write? You should be a doctor.
Dr. Wilson. So it'll be Pagic, Branch, and Adams, the 1, 2, 3 batters for the NOL All-Stars in the bottom of the 4th inning. Cody Clymer still on the mound. John Pagic hitting from the right side. This will be his first plate appearance this morning. Looks at the first pitch in the zone, no balls and 1 strike.
Steve, Cody Clymer, the pitcher for Palm Coast, like you said, this is his 4th inning going into. He has thrown 52 pitches and faced 16 batters, struck out 2 and walked 1.
Clymer gets the sign. Evens it up at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody out in the bottom of the 4th inning. NOL 2, Palm Coast 0. The loser of this game will play at 1 p.m. The winner will play Merritt Island at 4 p.m. 2 balls and 1 strike on John Pagic. Oh, that's wonderful. The way you have rewritten that so a 5th grader could read it.
A 5th grader? Well, yeah.
And that's as far as I went. 3 balls and 1 strike on the number 8 batter, John Pagic. 3-1 pitch. Just a little low ball force, and NOL will have a runner on first with nobody out in the bottom of the fourth inning. Thomas Seeley for Palm Coast now doing the catching. Cody Clymer still on the mound as Durham Branch steps into the batter's box. Branch hitting from the right side. First pitch by Clymer. Outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Branch back into the box. Nice pitch by Clymer, evens it up at 1-1. Number 8 steps out of the box, takes a quick glance at the coach in the third base box. Now he's back in. He'll be looking at a 1-1 pitch from Clymer. Outside, ball gets past the catcher. Advancing to second base easily is John Pagic. Thomas Seeley did everything he could to stop that one. Ball just a little bit too wide. So now NOL with a runner on second, nobody out. Bottom of the fourth, up 2-0 over Palm Coast. The 2-1 pitch. Ground ball to the right side. First baseman fields it, steps on the bag. Pagic advances to third in the meantime. So Branch did what he needed to do. He put the ball in play on the right to the right side. Advancing Pagic to third. NOL with a runner 60 feet away from home plate. And that'll get the Navy Ortega Lakeshore All-Stars back up to the top of their batting order.
You know, nice move by John Pagic. Steve went from first to third on a ground ball to first base. Slow roller. Took time for the play to develop. And nice base running there. Picked up his coach right away after he left first base, and his coach waved him all the way.
Robert Adams stepping into the box. Well hit ball to right field. That's going to be a base hit on RBI single for Adams. He'll stop at first base. John Pagic will score the third run of this game for NOL. So the Jacksonville squad now on top of Palm Coast 3-0.
So 1 hit and 1 run in this inning, a base on balls. Here again, Steve, the 3 runs that Ortega has got. The first one was on an error. The second one the runner was on an error and then later scored, and then a walk. John Pagic led off this inning with a walk. So all 3 coming on errors or walks.
That'll bring Gavin Miller stepping into the box. First pitch past the catcher. Adams will easily advance to second. Carbon copy of the last play where Pagic advanced to second on a base hit. On a pass ball, rather, or not. Wild pitch. Flip a coin, that was a wild pitch. But regardless, 1 ball and no strikes. Runner on second, Gavin Miller, the number 2 batter in the box. Ground ball to the shortstop, 2 Hopper. Nice throw. Throw to third base, trying to advance to third and thrown out. Nice throw once again by first baseman Dalton Roberts. It was a 2 Hopper to the shortstop with the runner on second. After the throw left the shortstop's hand, the runner at second, Adams, broke for third. The strong arm of the first baseman got Adams trying to reach third base for the third out here in the fourth inning.
But the line score for Navy Ortega Lakeshore in the bottom of the fourth inning, 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, and no runners left on base. Steve, 9 and 10-year-olds to go from shortstop to first and then first to third. That's real. These coaches have done a nice job. That's the second time that Palm Coast has done that in this ball game. So they've done a nice job defensively here. What's hurt them is the errors and that 1 walk.
Dalton Roberts has played well at first base. He's had some hard hit baseballs to him. He's knocked down, made a couple of strong throws to get runners out at third base. 3-0 as we are set to move to the top of the 5th inning. Once again, this is a regulation 6-inning baseball game. We'd like to thank Knutson Brain and Spine Injury Law Office. Of course, that's Jim Knutson, who provides representation for members of the public who have suffered head trauma or a brain or spinal cord injury. Knutson Brain and Spine Injury Law Office is located in Rockledge at 830 Executive Lane, Suite 140. The phone number for Jim Knutson, area code 321-632-2722. We'd also like to thank Florida Master Temp, located at 3475 North Highway US 1 in Cocoa. Florida Master Temp is an authorized sales and service outlet for air conditioning systems, refrigeration equipment, ice making equipment, and machines. The office phone for Tommy Eberhardt is answered 24 hours a day, 321-639-3166. And I know he is busy as we speak. We're in the hot part of the summer. AC units are dropping, unfortunately. I know Tommy's busy. Florida Master Temp does a terrific job. So if you are in need of air conditioning repair, ice making equipment, anything along those lines, give Tommy a call at 321-639-3166. Once again, I'm Steve Wilson along with Orville Susong, a special Saturday morning edition of the Friday Night Locker Room. 9 out of 10 times we'll say high school sports at its finest. Orville, today it's Little League sports at its finest.
Couple changes, Steve. Number 9, Tyler Perkins for Navy Ortega will enter the ball game, replacing Catherine Brewer. She had a strikeout, but she did bat, and that's all she's required to do. And then Derek Carson, who originally started at first base, was replaced by Durham Branch, is now back into the ball game. And Derek Carson now back at first base. So we head to the top of the 5th inning. Pitch count unofficially. I've had 3 people ask me for pitch count, Steve. I made it very, very clear to them that I'm unofficial. I guarantee I'm real close, if not right on the button, but I am unofficial. So the first pitch is a ball, and that will be ball number 1 here in the top of the 5th inning. Looks like Isaac Trabuck will step in.
A coach will know better than to come over and ask you.
Yep. Fly ball to right field, second baseman. That's Brooks Beach, goes out into right field and makes the catch. Great defensive play there for out number 1.
Great play by the second baseman. That is John Pagic. Is now the second baseman for NOL.
Moved him over?
I tell you, they move players all the time.
Okay, well.
That's Pagic, who made the great play behind first base. Actually, he's a second baseman and caught it in the grass in right field behind first base.
So now stepping in will be Reese Monroe. Here's a pitch to him. Swung on a miss. Nice little curveball, if you want to call a 9 and 10-year-old throwing a nice little curveball.
Yeah.
But we are in the top of the 5th inning. Navy Ortega Lakeshore out of Jacksonville, up 3-0 over Palm Coast. There's the next pitch, popped straight back to the screen, and that will take the count to no balls and 2 strikes. 3-0 here, Ortega in the lead. Next game, Steve, the Merritt Island All-Stars, they're the ones hosting this tournament, Section 3 tournament. They will play the loser of this game. There's the next pitch, swung on and missed, and that will be strike number 3, and that will be out number 2. And Mac Hellman will get his 6th strikeout, Steve, in only an inning and a third of work. So you got to like that, or inning and 2/3. So he steps back in now, 2 outs. That will bring up Thomas Seeley. He's hitting in the number 9 spot, outside corner. Steve, it's like Mac Hellman came in, picked up where the umpire was calling strikes, and got on the same page with the umpire, because he's hitting corners inside and out. There's the next pitch, bounces to the plate, and that will even up the count at 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, and this level it's all about throwing strikes if you can place the ball, which most 9 and 10-year-olds can. It appears Hellman can. You're tough. You're going to be awful hard to hit.
So the count, 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Well, that's low and away, and that will be ball number 2. He threw an inning and 2/3 coming into this inning, and he struck out 5 batters that he faced consecutively. That's pretty good control.
Yeah, I'd say.
Next pitch, swung on and missed, and that will even up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Thomas Seeley with a big cut, but he came up with nothing but air. So Hellman ready to go. The count 2-2, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Outside, wanted him to chase a fastball in the corner. Did not get the call. Did not get the batter to chase it. The batter, Thomas Seeley. Count now goes full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Next pitch bounces to the plate, and that will be a walk. That'll be the first walk given up by Matt Hellman. So Seeley will trot down to first base. Had to put a runner at first. 2 outs. We head back to the top of the lineup, and we'll see if that will be the substitute batter or not, depending on, he turned the
Depending
wrong
on
way.
which way he turns.
Yep,
11. That's number 11 batting.
he just announced number 8.
It's number 11. I saw his back.
Okay. Number 11, Brennan Stripley, so he's back in the ball game. He was an original starter. He struck out his first time up, so he steps in to face Mac Hellman for the first time. So Striplin ready to go. Here's the pitch. Catches the outside corner. And I believe that was the second pitch to him.
Yeah, 1-1.
1 ball, 1 strike. So we have a runner at first, 2 outs. And the count on Striplin, 1 ball and 1 strike. And that pitch called strike number 2. So the count 1 ball, 2 strikes. Top of the 5th inning, Navy Ortega up 3-0. 2 outs here in the 5th. Mac Hellman doing a great job. That ball bounces to the plate, throw down to second, and they've got him in plenty of time, and they get him out. Nice throw by the catcher. Seeley hesitated, stopped. The catcher threw it to second base. He ran right into the out, so that will be out number 3. That means that Brian Striplin will be the hitter when we come back, so that's out number 3. So the line score, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on as we head to the bottom of the 5th.
We'd like to thank Planet Fitness, located in Rockledge Plaza at 1802 U.S. Highway 1. In Rockledge, of course, Planet Fitness has a 23,000 square foot facility with fitness equipment and cardio machines. The phone number, 321-433-1331. Website keyword, planetfitness.com. If you're in Central Brevard or anywhere in the county, Tuesday from 3:30 to 7 o'clock at Planet Fitness, the Big Red Bus will be there. There is a dire need for blood. Mike Walker at Planet Fitness has put together a blood drive. He's got pizza he's going to be giving away, drinks, all sorts of excitement. He's looking to have some kind of music going on nonstop. Of course, Tuesday is normally a pretty good business day for Planet Fitness. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday are their busiest days. Mike's hoping between those hours a lot of his customers and a lot of people in the area will stop by Rockledge Plaza at 1802 U.S. Highway 1 and donate blood. Believe me, I've talked to the people at the blood bank the last couple of weeks, and there is a desperate need for blood. So if you can do it, if you're in the neighborhood, we'd love to see you out there on Tuesday. And then we'll all be heading to Port Canaveral Tuesday night. It's the Space Coast Tiger Bay Hobnob. There'll be a lot of the local politicians that are running for office will be in attendance out at Cruise Terminal 1. Space Coast Daily will be out there in force conducting interviews. That's from 5:30 to 8:30. It'll be a full day Tuesday. We'll give blood early and then head out to the port for the political hobnob. It's the time, a chance to meet those that are running for office in and around Brevard County. I always say you need to do 2 things. You need to vote, but you need to be informed. You need to know who you're voting for. Perfect time to meet the candidates as Tuesday, Space Coast Tiger Bay Hobnob.
I believe we're having Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump on our show later in the day if they can get here in time.
On the Friday Night Locker Room?
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, we'll see. We'll see if time permits. Yeah, let's laugh that one off.
Yeah, okay.
Let's do baseball.
Cody Clymer, Steve, the starting pitcher for Palm Coast, goes into the bottom of the 5th inning. Officially, I just heard him check it. I have 64 pitches. The official count, 64. So I think, I'm not sure. I think he can throw 75. Is that what it is?
Yeah, I believe that's a number. And if you're in the middle of a batter at 75, you can keep going. So for the NOL All-Stars, in the bottom of the 5th inning, it will be the number 3, 4, and 5 batters, William Moore, Brooks Beach, and Jeb Allen. Moore set to step in, hitting from the right side. Will be facing Clymer for the 3rd time this morning. First pitch right down the middle by Cody Clymer. No balls and 1 strike. Pitch by Clymer. Inside, almost gets away and hits more backs up. And that'll even it up at 1-1.
Moore, Steve, first time up and the second time up, both times hit the ball right back to the pitcher. So he is 0 for 2 this afternoon. This morning, is it still morning?
Still morning.
Oh.
Well hit ball up the middle, base hit by William Moore. So that'll put an NOL runner on first with nobody out in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Only the 4th hit of the ball game by NOL, but Palm Coast with only 2 hits in the ball game.
Pitchers for both teams have done a nice job. Cody Clymer has gone the whole way for Palm Coast. Starting on the mound for NOL was William Moore. Mac Hellman has picked up right where Moore left off. Quick timeout call. It looks like Steve Moore, head coach of NOL, is going to make some changes as the home plate umpire heads back this way. We have another runner, and that will be Catherine Brewer. Will be whatever Joe called is the name of it. Umpire says pinch runner, courtesy runner. Regardless, Catherine Brewer will run in place of William Moore. That'll bring Brooks Beach up to bat for the NOL All-Stars. First pitch by Clymer. High, 1 ball and no strikes. Beautiful weather in Brevard County and Merritt Island. You'll have to take our word for it, but Game 2 and Game 3 you will not, because you'll be able to see the action between Merritt Island and the loser of this game in Game 2 in Merritt Island versus the winner of this game in Game 3. That ball in the dirt, 2 balls and no strikes on Beach. 2-0 pitch is inside quickly. Ahead in the count is Brooks Beach. He'll be looking at a 3-0 pitch from Cody Clymer. Catherine Brewer, your runner on first base for NOL, nobody out in the bottom of the 5th. That pitch low, ball 4 now. Brewer's on second, and Beach is on first.
Now we're going to come into a situation, Steve, where they're going to start looking at the pitch count on the starting pitcher for Palm Coast, Cody Clymer. We talked about it. Here comes the coach right now. I have him unofficially.
Hey, Jeff, time the pitcher.
I have him at 71 pitches. So,
Coach Jason Roberts of Palm Coast, he calls timeouts. Timeout, it looks like he might make a change. I see number 4 going to the mound for the Palm Coast All-Stars. That'll be Pasquarello.
Jace Pasquarello.
Jace Pasquarello will now be the pitcher for the Palm Coast All-Stars. While we have this break in the action, we'd like to thank Al's Trophy Shop. They have 2 locations, one on Palm Bay Road in Palm Bay, the other in Cocoa on US 1, just north of the beach line. Al's Trophy Shop creates custom plaques and trophies. Al's Trophy Shop is reached by phone at area code 321-636-6188.
So Palm Coast will put in their second pitcher, and that will be the original shortstop, Jace Pasquarello. So
we'd also like to thank Advanced Tax Center, individual, corporate, partnership, estate, and trust tax return. Advanced Tax Center also offers bookkeeping and payroll services for businesses. The phone number, 321-636-8561. Website, Advanced, that's with a D, ADVANCED, AdvancedTaxCenter.com.
also want to thank Jimmy's Restaurant's new location, now located on US 1 in Port St. John, where the old Frontenac Flea Market, I guess it's still the Frontenac Flea Market, is it not?
Probably so, yeah.
Okay, but the big flea market called the Frontenac Flea Market, Jimmy's Restaurant right there. Great lunch, great breakfast. They're open, I think, for breakfast and lunch only. But go up and give Jimmy's Restaurant a try up there on US 1 in Port St. John. Also want to thank, I lost my paper.
We want to thank SpaceCoastDaily.com for getting us on the air this morning. Tom had to wake up extra early for this 10 o'clock start time.
Well, good old Tom. You got to love him.
I tell you, he posts things at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. I don't know when he sleeps. It beats anything I've ever seen.
He makes his wife and kids post after 9:30. He's in bed.
They
post under his name.
If I'm a news guy, news has to occur between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. As we're set to continue play, Jeb Allen steps into the box, hitting from the right side. NOL with runners on first and second. Nobody out, up by a score of 3-0. First pitch outside to Allen, 1 ball and no strikes.
Jace Pasquarello, he's wearing number 4. He's the new pitcher for Palm Coast. There's a fastball.
Nice pitch, evens it up at 1-1. Allen, 1 for 1 this morning. He had an RBI double in the first inning. He walked in the third inning. This is his 3rd plate appearance. That one finds the zone, 1 ball and 2 strikes on Jeb Allen. Mac Hellman on deck for Steve Moore's NOL All-Stars. 1-2 pitch. Call strike 3 on the corner. The umpire liked one. Jeb Allen goes down on strikes. Now there's 1 out in the bottom of the 5th inning, and that'll bring up the pitcher, number 4, Mac Hellman.
Nice fastball, Steve, right down the middle of the plate by Pasquarillo to get his first strikeout of the ball game.
Pitcher versus pitcher, Cody Clymer versus Mac Hellman. First pitch in the dirt past the catcher, advancing up 60 feet are both runners. For NOL, that'll be Catherine Brewer on third base. Should be more on, or is that Beach on?
Beach.
Beach on second.
Yeah. That was a
Nice pitch
fastball.
by Clymer. Right down the middle, 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, bottom of the 5th inning. Runners on second and third. Pitch by Clymer. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Palm Coast needs to keep it right where it is. They're down 3-0. They'll have 1 more half inning to score 3 runs to at least tie it and keep this thing going. Here's the pitch. Just gets a piece of that one, fouls it straight back. Count remains 1-2. Palm Coast needs to keep it at 3-0. Those 3 runs, you give up a couple more runs here, it'll be a real challenge for the All-Stars from Palm Coast. Pitch by Clymer.
Oh,
Nice pitch on the corner. Call strike. Mac Hellman goes down. So now there are 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th.
I think, is that number 9, Steve?
Back-to-back strikeouts for Clymer. Stepping into the box now. I can't see. The umpire's in the way.
Can't see through the screen.
Gets past the catcher.
Yeah.
Runners, it is number 9. Runners unable to advance.
Tyler Perkins hitting now for Navy Ortega.
Nice job by the catcher, Thomas Seeley, to get to that ball. They went all the way to the backstop, but it kept the runners from scoring, or at least one of the runners from scoring. 1-0 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Oh. Anticipated a call there and anticipated incorrect.
Tyler Perkins, we've seen him on the base path running. Nice pitch. 2 balls and 1 strike on number 9, Tyler Perkins. Perkins steps out. Now he steps back in. He needs a clutch 2-out hit to get at least 1 run home. There's a pitch on the corner that's going to even it up at 2-2. So now Cody Clymer 1 strike away from getting out of this jam. Pitch by Clymer. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Perkins goes down on strikes to end the bottom of the 5th inning.
And Pasquarillo comes in relief in the bottom of the 5th inning. Gives up a base hit and a walk, and then struck out the side as Alan Hellman and now Tyler Perkins all go down swinging. The line score in the bottom of the 5th inning for Navy Ortega. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, no runners left on base. Your score after 5 complete. Navy Ortega 3, Palm Coast 0.
We'd like to thank Space Coast Tire. They are an automotive repair service outlet at 1732 South Huntington Lane in Rockledge for batteries, tires, brakes, oil changes, alignments, and more. That's Space Coast Tire, 321-639-4008. How about Custom Print Screen Printing, located at 1740 South Huntington Lane in Rockledge? They provide textile printing products for family reunions, church gatherings, civic organizations, sports team uniforms, and business shirts. The office phone for custom prints, area code 321-631-3652. We'd also like to thank Barry Signs Incorporated. If you've ever been to a ball game where the Friday Night Locker Room is broadcasting, you'll see the banners that we hang. We have 3 of them hanging today, made courtesy of Barry Signs Incorporated. They're a full-service sign company specializing in new construction, LED sales, and rentals. A special thanks to Dennis and Joanne Barry for supporting local sports. The phone number for Barry Signs, area code 321-631-6150.
Mac Hellman will go back on the hill for Navy Ortega. This He has thrown 36 pitches, faced 8 batters, has 6 strikeouts and 1 walk. Steve, I would say the guy coming in relief and going to try and close this game down has had a very good ball game on the mound.
There's no question about it. He's 3 outs away from giving his team or helping his team win game number 1 here.
So he'll face Cody Clymer. That catches the outside corner for strike number 1. He'll face Cody Clymer, Jace Pasquarillo, and Dalton Roberts. Here's the next pitch way outside, and that will even up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Oh, thank you, Steve, for reminding me of that. Scarroll was up when they threw the runner out at second base, and there's a swing and a miss. That takes the count to 1 ball, 2 strikes. So the leadoff hitter back at the plate. And the count on him, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Giacono. And he'll look at his mom as he heads to the plate. And that was Scarroll, and he's out on called strike 3. So that will be out number 1 here in the top of the 6th inning. And now that will bring up Cody Clymer. So Clymer steps in. He has had a base hit his first time up and then a strikeout his second time. That ball bounces to the plate, and that will be ball number 1. Don't go anywhere after this game. Coming back at 1 o'clock, we will have game number 2 of this 3-game tournament.
We'll actually go on there 10 minutes to 1. That'll
Ground ball to the second base side, throw over to first base in plenty of time. And that will be 4-3 if you're scoring that. That will be out number 2. So Navy Ortega, Steve, 1 out away from winning their first ball game in this tournament.
We'll go back on the air at 10 minutes to 1 for game 2. That'll give us time to interview both coaches prior to the game.
Stepping in now, the original shortstop, second baseman, now pitcher, Jace Pasquarillo will step in. His team down 3-0, and he comes in with 2 strikeouts in the ball game. So he is 0 for 2 this afternoon. He'll step in to face Mac Hellman, which has done a great job since he's came in. He's got 7 strikeouts now and only walked 1 batter.
Quick timeout called by NOL. That's William Moore, the catcher, calls timeout, wanted to talk to his pitcher Hellman. Make sure they're on the same page, and it appears that they are because we're about ready to resume play.
Jace Pasquarello will step in. He throws right-handed, hits left-handed. So from the left side, he steps in now, waiting for the pitch. That first pitch way upstairs and outside. That will be ball number 1. If you're looking for insurance for auto, home, life, investment, disability insurance, have a boat or a motor home or a motorcycle. That pitch is way inside. It actually hits Pasquarello on the elbow, and he'll trot down to first base. Needing renter's insurance, or like you, Steve, 4-wheelers. I know you ride 4-wheelers all the time.
I do. A car.
Give Jennifer DeCandio and Associates a call. They are Allstate insurance agents, and they have 2 locations, one in Palm Bay, one in Port St. John, and one in Mims. The Port St. John location, you can reach them at 631-3777, and their second location in Mims, 3239 North Highway, US number 1. Their phone number 267-8711. Pasquarello now still nursing that arm. Steve, looks to me like he got hit right on the end of the elbow, which is not a good place to get hit. Not only if you're a pitcher, but if you're a baseball player. And he's showing that he's in a lot of pain. I don't know why they don't put a pinch runner in for him. But
Wow, that was a trip. I just turned on my phone to listen to SpaceCoastDaily.com. 25-second delay, as you know, so I'm listening to you talk in one ear, and I'm listening to you talk in the other ear. There's 2 U's.
And there's 2 ears.
It's an Orville sandwich.
And there's two ears. So, did I sound good, Steve?
Oh, he sounded incredible.
Pasquarello at first base. He's hitting the elbow with a pitch. Here's the first pitch to Dalton Roberts, and it's going to be a pass ball past the catcher. Trotting down to second base will be Pasquarello. First pitch to Dalton Roberts will be a ball. Game number 1 here in our Section 3 Little League Tournament, age group 8, 9, and 10-year-olds. Here's the next pitch. Catches the outside corner, and that will be 1 ball and 1 strike. Mac Hellman, Steve, coming in, throwing fire and throwing strikes. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Here's the next pitch. That bounces to the plate, and that will be a 2 ball and 1 strike count. No runs for Palm Coast so far. Only 2 hits. That pitch, fly ball, deep left field. Left fielder coming over. It cannot make the catch as he dives for it. That will score 1 run.
So all of a sudden, Palm Coast has life. Now they're down 3-1. Still 2 outs.
Pasquarillo scores from second base. You'll give the base hit and an RBI to Dalton Roberts. So not only do they get their first hit, they also get their first run, and it comes in the top of the 6th inning. And that will bring up number 99, Braden Stewart. Stewart 0 for 2 this morning.
Timeout called by Steve Moore, head coach of the NOL All-Stars. This timeout brought to you by Microman Nissan Cadillac. They're located on the 520 Causeway, Merritt Island. They are an authorized sales and service outlet for new Nissan and Cadillac products, and they carry a line of used cars and trucks. The website, microurbanmotors.com. The telephone, 321-453-2050. Whatever Steve Moore had on his mind, he said, and he's done. So we're about ready to get things back underway. NOL 1 out away from wrapping up game 1.
Situation now, Palm Coast with a runner at first base and 2 outs. Pitcher in relief, Matt Kelman on the mound, had a solid outing for Navy Ortega. Braden Stewart 0 for 2 steps in. That pitch is called strike. So the count, no balls, 1 strike. 1 run in here for Palm Coast. Steve, you never know, that 1 run could come into play later on if they had a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
That pitch is fouled off to the first base side, and that will take the count to no balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, there are a number of tie-breaking factors that it can come down to how many runs allowed. Can be run differential. There are so many factors, and we'll get Joe LeBlanc or get Don Guilford on the air for game 2 to explain what the tiebreakers are.
Steve, another thing, the Friday night locker room, you know, we just keep branching out and branching out. But the Jacksonville Jaguars, Mike Perkins, here's a pitch, line shot up the middle. That's going to be in the gap. That could score Roberts all the way from first. We'll see. They're going to wave him home. They're going to have a play at the plate. It's going to be short. A stand-up triple now by Stewart. And he gets an RBI, and all of a sudden it is 3-2. And we're in the top of the 6th inning.
Palm Coast now 60 feet away from tying this game up.
So what do you know? And Palm Coast now, I guarantee he's going to re-enter Connor May. We'll see.
Number 3.
Number 3 is Connor May.
Yeah.
So that's the original starter, Connor May. Mason Kepler came in for him, but he's probably going to try and see. Mason Kepler has batted, so he can re-enter the ball game. So he'll do that at this time, and it will be a pinch hitter. So number 3 re-enters the ball game. So it will fall on Connor Mays.
I tell you, those were back-to-back hard-hit balls, too. Those weren't cheap shots.
No, and the Heat has to, take a little bit on the way. I'll talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars, Steve, after we get this straightened out here. But we have re-entering the ball game, Connor May, who's original starter in right field. He'll step in now with a runner at third base, Steve. If a pass ball or a base hit, we've got a tie ball game. Here's the first pitch. And that's inside, and that will be ball number 1. Catcher fakes a throw down to third base. Steve, if I'm the coach, I'm yelling, do not throw the ball. Give it back to the pitcher. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs. Here's the second pitch. That's upstairs. Of course, walking this batter means nothing. The guy at third base, as far as getting your third out. You don't want to give him anything to hit to drive this run in, so you have to be careful here. Here's the pitch right down the middle of the plate, and that will take the count on Connor May to 2 balls and 1 strike. Steve, all of a sudden, we have us a ball game. The score now 3-2. It was 3-0, 2-0 all the way from the first. Here's the next pitch. Pop up. It's going to be to the pitcher, and he will handle it, and that will be the end of the ball game. A nice job by the pitcher to come up and catch that ball before it hits the ground, and that will be an out. So the line score for Palm Coast, 1 run on 1 hit. 2 hits, no errors, 1 runner left on base. Your final score, Navy Ortega Lakeshore 3 and Palm Coast 2. Steve, they gave them a close game at the end.
They did a couple of solid base hits by Palm Coast, so they showed that they can hit the baseball late, something that probably got the attention of the Merritt Island coaches. But a nice play by Mac Hellman to end the game. It was a pop-up between the pitcher's mound and first base. Looked for a minute like it had a chance to drop in. Even if it had dropped, Hellman might have been able to get to it and make the throw at first base. You'll never know, but nice effort, nice play by Mac Hellman, the pitcher for the NOL All-Stars. He ended things right here shortly before noontime, game 1. So Orville 1 down for us, 2 to go.
And the line score for Palm Coast, 2 runs on 4 hits, no errors committed by Navy Ortega Lakeshore. Palm Coast left 4 runners on base. For Navy Ortega, who gets the win, 3 runs on 4 hits, 3 errors, Steve, by Palm Coast, and that was all in the first inning, and that cost them big time.
It did, but remember, these are 9 and 10-year-old All-Stars. They're 9 and 10-year-old boys and girl. So what to us looks like a routine play, it's not. I'm telling you, it's not. So good effort by both Palm Coast and NOL in game 1. Just because Palm Coast lost doesn't mean they're out of it, especially picking up those 2 runs, Orville, in the 6th inning. That could come back into play if the 3 games can conclude with all 3 teams having a 1-1 record. Then you go into tiebreakers, and you just never know what those 2 runs might mean.
So the final again for Navy Ortega, 3 runs, 4 hits, 3 errors committed by Palm Coast, and NOL left 4 runners on base. Your final score, Navy Ortega Lakeshore from District 19. They come up with a win, 3-2.
So what we're going to do is we're going to shut things down. We're going to go back on the air at 10 minutes to 1. That'll give us time to talk to the coaches from Palm Coast and Merritt Island before the game. The first pitch is scheduled for 1 p.m. We'd like to thank our sponsors for Game 1. Of course, that's Mike Urban Nissan Cadillac, Beefo Brady's State Road 524 in Cocoa, Knudsen Brain Spine Injury Law Office, Planet Fitness, Florida Master Temp, Al's Trophy Shop, Space Coast Tire, Custom Print Screen Printing, Barry Signs Incorporated, Jimmy's Restaurant, DeCandio and Associates, Allstate, Advanced Tax Center. Who am I leaving out?
That sounds about right.
Space Coast Daily.
SpaceCoastDaily.com. We want to thank Tom Palermo for handling Sports Center for us. We get an extra pay every time we mention Tom's name. So
Yeah.
Giles told me not to do it anymore. He's having to pay him too much extra, but Tom's a great guy, and we want to thank you for keeping us on the air at SpaceCoastDaily.com.
So come back at 12:50 p.m. for game number 2.
And that game will feature Palm Coast, who just played. Jason Roberts will bring his team back onto the same field, and they will face the team from Merritt Island. So we're going to shut her down right here. You've been listening to the Friday Night Locker Room, a presentation of the Florida Broadcasting Group. We'll see you back about 12:50, huh? We'll see you then.